Average Woodsman here. So I know it's been a while since I've made any videos with the whole coronavirus thing and all the other stuff going on, traveling, working, all that kind of stuff. It's been really crazy. Back in Florida, been here for a little while now, so I figure I could make some more videos. I have a couple videos planned, but I'm out here in the woods, just kind of getting out of the house and relaxing, and figured that I would do a quick first impressions video on a knife I just got. This is the Tops XEST Delta folder. So I've been looking at this thing for a while, and just figured I'd pull the trigger on it. It is a beast of a folder, to say the least. I've owned a lot of folders from a lot of different companies. ZT, Zero Tolerance, Benchmade, Spyderco, and so on. And this is by far the most heavy-duty folding knife I've ever owned. The lockup is ridiculous. There is literally zero play, side to side, up and down. There is no play whatsoever. And the weird thing about it is, on a lot of websites, it actually says that it's made out of a bunch of different steels. Like one says it's N690. I've seen other ones, and on Tops website it says that it's made out of 154 cm. So that's what I'm going by. Sorry guys, there's a lot of mosquitoes out here. That's what I'm going by. I've owned quite a few knives in 154 cm, and I've had no issues with it. It has decent corrosion resistance, decent toughness, has pretty good edge retention, and you can get that edge back to hair pop and sharp really quick. It has kind of a recurve blade design, and it is ridiculously thick. It's a 3/16 of an inch thick with a 3 1/4 inch cutting edge. So it's a beast. It has bow drill divots. I just got this thing like a week ago, so I haven't really been able to do much testing with it. But eventually I'm going to do some videos with it, because it's a pretty cool folder, honestly. It's one of the cooler folders that I've ever owned, honestly. It has a pocket clip, can be either on the right or left of the knife. So, and it is tip up. Do a couple of basic things with this. I have not been able to take it out. This is only my second time taking it out, so I haven't really got a whole lot of use with it. Haven't got a whole lot done with it yet. So you guys, I'm just going to bring you guys along on this little journey of getting the feel of this knife, and I'll let you guys know how it works. So one thing I will say is I've never been a huge fan of coatings on knives, so we'll have to see about that. Also, one thing I've never liked about Tops knives is that they don't do a 90-degree spine on their knives. I'm kind of a type of guy who likes a 90-degree spine. I like my knife to do a lot of things, be multi-functional. And one thing about this blade is it does have their black traction coating on it, and it does not have a 90-degree spine. Even if it did, with this black traction coating, it wouldn't really be any good. For being as thick as it is, it actually cuts pretty well. I guess this blade is designed more for like survival, maybe a tactical blade, like a lot of Tops knives. I can tell you this because of how thick the handle is and these G10 scales. This thing is probably the most comfortable folding knife I've ever held. There's just really no hot spots, and this pocket clip does not dig into my hand. It's just a really comfortable knife. If you've ever used my camera fell over. If you guys have ever used folding knives for like doing any type of bushcraft or woodscraft or anything like that, you can, at least, and I'm not talking about like a more traditional folding knife, I'm talking about a more modern, like tactical type folding knife. Generally the handles are not very comfortable and the pocket clip digs into your hand, at least in the mine. This one doesn't seem to do that. It seems actually pretty, like a pretty decent, comfortable knife to hold. I'm sure it has a lot to do with how thick the handle is and how the edges are pretty well rounded. I don't think all this jimping is necessary. I'm not a fan of jimping. 99% of the time it's just not necessary. But Tops seems to really love to put jimping on their knives. I don't know why. But it doesn't seem to be a problem. It's not digging into my hand. The jimping's not bothering it, so it's just kind of there. The edge geometry seems pretty good. It's not bad, honestly. Like I said, for being such a thick knife with such a thick blade with a pretty short overall length of the cutting edge, being only about 3 1/4 inches. Sorry guys about my allergies too. My allergies have just been terrible lately. But it's just a really cool knife, honestly. It's just a really cool, good-looking knife that seems to be pretty functional, honestly. I don't have a problem with it. Feather sticks with it. I've never used this knife for feathers. We'll see how it does. Not really the best wood. Not the best feather stick I've ever made, but not terrible for a folding knife, honestly, that's this thick with a coating on it. Eventually I'm going to try out this bow drill divot and I'll do a video on that. I haven't made a bow drill in a long time, so I'll do that testing. But yeah, I just want to do a quick video on it. This is the Tops, see if I can get the focus, Tops XEST Delta folder. Pretty cool knife. It is a liner lock. Like I said, the thing is solid. I mean, it's a beast of a folder. It's pretty expensive. It's about a $150 knife, depending on where you find it. But it's cool. It's definitely a cool blade. Hey guys, so I had to move locations. The mosquitoes and the no-seams were just eating me alive, so I got into an area that's a little more open with a breeze. It's a lot cooler over here anyways. Today it's really muggy. So anyways, let me give you guys my final thoughts on this blade for this initial kind of first impressions video. So there are a lot of things I like about the knife. It's just a cool looking knife. It's just a cool overall knife. The handle, it's extremely comfortable. Just really comfortable. It fits my hand well. I don't have huge hands. I have average size hands. I wear medium sized gloves, but it fits my hand really well. I like the G10 handle scales. They're really comfortable. They're well rounded. They don't have any sharp edges. It cuts well for being a pretty thick, a really thick folder. It cuts pretty well. The way it carries in my pocket is fine. You would think that the knife this heavy, this thing weighs I think something like around 8.5, 9 ounces. and how thick the blade is, you would think that being such a thick folder, it wouldn't ride well in the pocket. It does. Let me show you guys. It pokes out a little bit, as you guys can see. You know, but it's just a large knife. But it doesn't bother me. I don't have a problem with large, heavier folders, bulky folders. I've owned a lot of them over the years. If you've ever owned any zero tolerance knives, you know that they're pretty heavy duty. I mean, I really like the knife overall. I like the pocket clip. The pocket clip's really secure. A couple of things I don't particularly like all that much about it, or things that I would change if I would have designed this knife. Obviously I didn't, but you know, if I did design this knife, I would not have a traction coating on it. I don't like traction coatings. I don't think they're necessary in most situations. This is supposed to be designed as like an outdoor folder, a woods folder, a bushcraft type folder, and it's just not beneficial if you're going to be using this for a lot of outdoor tasks. Another thing I would have done personally, and this is just me personally, I probably would have done it in 1095. I like high carbon steels. I'm not a big fan of stainless steels overall. I can see why they did it in stainless steel, because it is a folding knife and it's going to be close to your body. But honestly, I have other folders that, like more traditional folders, that are in high carbon steel, and I've never had an issue with them rusting. You just have to take care of your blade. Honestly, the jimping is, I can take it or leave it. It doesn't bother me on this specific knife. A lot of times I don't like jimping, but it doesn't dig into my hand. I can't feel it. It doesn't bother me. So the jimping I'm kind of neutral on, and the recurve I'm kind of neutral on. I don't really have a problem with recurves, and I don't particularly like, I can take them or leave them on a blade. I know a lot of people have really strong opinions on them. I don't personally. I probably, if I designed this knife, I probably wouldn't put a recurve on it, but that's just me. But it doesn't bother me. It's not something that I have trouble when I'm sharpening, and recurves cut fine. Another thing that I wish this knife had was a sharp spine, but for some reason Tops never puts sharp spines on their knives. I don't know why. They produce a lot of outdoor type knives, bushcraft type knives, and they just never put their sharp spines on their knives. I don't know why. And one thing that I think would be cool on this, since it is a folder, would be, got more mosquitoes even out here. I personally think it would be cool to have a lanyard hole. To put a lanyard, you could have a lanyard on this thing. I think that would be really cool. But honestly, it's just a really cool knife. I'll do some more videos on it, and I'm definitely not done with it. I'll do a long-term review. But I just want to kind of give you guys my final thoughts. I had to move areas because I was just being eaten alive by no-see-ums and mosquitoes. Alright guys, I will catch you on the next one.